Let's go river cruising to Europe with AMAWaterways, world's #1 5-star deluxe river cruise company. And do stay tuned because I've got an insider travel secret of how you can score 2 free tickets to Europe. I'm Larry Gelwigs, the Getaway Guru. Welcome to my travel channel. The purpose of the Getaway Guru is to help you travel more and pay less with insider travel secrets and Grace Smarts, 40 years of travel experience, things that you can only learn through time and experience that I will be sharing with you. Now, if you're new to my travel channel, please subscribe and remember the big 3. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, that's the little bell that you're seeing on your screen. And then if you like this video, please do me a favor and just click like. It's the thumbs up at the bottom of your screen. Now, let me introduce AMAWaterways to you, my favorite European river cruise company. In fact, I just did an online presentation about AMAWaterways, so let me share it with you. I'd like to introduce a very dear friend of mine, Brandon Oskerson, Business Development Manager for AMAWaterways, while he is currently residing in Arizona. He's a Utah native, grew up here, went to school here, and so we still claim him as one of ours. This is an exciting evening. This is actually the first webinar that Columbus Travel has sponsored, and it's going to be the first of many during this pandemic time. It's a good way to communicate. So we're going to start on time because AMAWaterways sails on time, and I'm going to ask Brandon to take it away, and he and I will be jumping in, talking about flat out the best Europe river cruise company, and they sail more than Europe. Brandon, take it away.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining us this evening. It's great to have you here. If I appear a little distracted here and there, it's because people are still joining us. We have a lot of people who are going to be participating this evening. And again, I just appreciate your time. For the sake of timeliness, I am going to go ahead and jump in and get started. So when I talk about AMAWaterways, I always like to talk about how we're unique. We do so many things in this industry to set ourselves apart on very high levels. And one of those ways actually begins with your cruise managers, the people who take care of you while you're cruising with us. Now, the way that we use them and the reason it's so unique is, well, let me back up a little bit. First of all, when you take a river cruise, you typically tie it in with a land package. If you were to take my romantic Danube, you would start off with 3 nights at a hotel in Prague, then get on the ship and take your 7-night cruise into Budapest. Well, with AMAWaterways, we have our cruise manager sitting at a welcome desk at your hotel, so they're your very first point of contact when you arrive. This very same person is at that welcome desk every day. They're going to go on a city tour with you. They're going to tell you the best places to go. They're going to tell you the best places to grab a bite to eat. They really want to make sure that you're making the most out of your time while you're in your pre-cruise experience.
Now, Brandon, could I jump in here? Something unique about AMAWaterways is, typically on a river cruise, 160, 70, 200 people. That's, kind of in that range. It's not like an ocean cruise with 5,000 people. And what's unique is the cruise manager here, cruise director. It's AMAWaterways is the only cruise line, river cruise line that I'm aware of, and Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, where they are out on the shore excursions. And by the way, all your shore excursions, they have a standard choice in every city. They're included. They're included in your cost, but they are out with you. And there's many good Europe river cruise lines. Other companies, they contract that out to a third person. You have your cruise director at the hotel with you, on the ship with you, and out on your shore excursions. Nobody else does that but AMA.
No, and that is unique to us. Everybody else puts a tour guide on the land and a cruise manager just on the cruise. We want you to have that one point of contact from your first to last day while you're traveling with us. Now here we're looking at a map of all of the places that we cruise around the world. As you can see, our primary focus is in Europe, but we also cruise the Mekong Delta through Vietnam and Cambodia. We cruise the Chobe River in South Africa. We are also going to start cruising the Nile River in Egypt starting September of next year. And here we are looking at a list of all of the ships that we currently have in operation. Now this brings me to something that I really like to share, especially during these uncertain times. AMAWaterways, we are a debt-free company. We don't owe any banks a single dime. We have paid cash for every one of our ships since day one. So before they even hit the water, we own them. They're ours. We don't owe anything else to anybody else. So when you're looking to book your next vacation and you're concerned about the status of travel and who may be around later on, you can rest assured that we are absolutely going to be there for you to take one of the best vacations you will ever have in your entire life. Now, speaking of uncertain times and COVID, it also brings me to something else that is really neat for me to share. We are currently the only US-based river cruise line that is operating in Europe right now as we speak. We have 2 ships cruising on the Rhine River. We have a German tour operator that has chartered both of them. So the clientele is going to be German, Austrian, and Swiss. But what's really neat about this for us, while everybody else is figuring out what their new safety protocols are going to be when they start sailing, we are already exercising them. And not only are we exercising them, we are getting rave reviews. If you go to amawaterways.com/travel-updates, we have a nice little 5-minute video that goes over all of the precautions we're taking to make sure that you feel safe and comfortable while you're traveling with us. On top of that, we have some nice little interviews with some of the guests who are traveling with us right now. We actually have one lady who she's on her 3rd cruise right now. She loves to travel. Obviously, it's a really hard time to travel, but she has a great opportunity in her own backyard. So she's on her 3rd cruise with us right now. Now, I will share a couple of things briefly. Obviously, masks are required by all of our staff. Our guests only have to wear a mask when they're moving from their stateroom to a common area. Once you get to that common area, you can go ahead and take your mask off because we are set up to be socially distant. We have rearranged the lounge, the dining areas, everything has been rearranged, and we can only sell with 100 guest max at this time. So that's made it really easy for us to set up these new protocols. We're also checking temperatures every time somebody gets on the ship. So it's a touchless temperature check. And we are also sanitizing your luggage when you get on board. So before you get into your room and you start unpacking, we've taken care of that as well. The last thing I will mention that I thought this was really interesting, the most common question we're getting is the air on our ships recirculated, and it is not. Every single room, every single stateroom has its very own heat and cooling coil system, and all of the air is brought in from outside. So none of it is recirculated. We're constantly bringing fresh air in. So while you're cruising with us, again, you can rest assured that you're going to be safe and comfortable. Now to talk about the fun things. So with AMAWaterways, we have one of the greatest innovators in the entire industry. His name is Rudy Schreiner. He's the president of our company. And the reason he's the innovator, he's actually an architect by trade. So he has his hand in designing all of our ships. And to give you an idea of some of his innovations, the very first person to put a French balcony on a river cruise vessel was Rudy Schreiner. He also was the first person to put a full balcony on a river cruise vessel. His newest innovation hit the waters in May of last year. It's our Ama Magna, and he really broke the mold with this vessel because he doubled the width, but we didn't double the occupancy on this vessel. We only added 40 additional guests. We really wanted to put that space into your staterooms and other amenities that you're going to find on board the Ama Magna. So Staterooms average 355 square feet. This is what it would look like in a 355 square foot stateroom. Just walking onto the ship, your entry-level stateroom starts off at 205 square feet. And the owner's suite, 710 very spacious square feet, especially on a river cruise vessel. If you've been an ocean cruiser and reluctant to river cruise because of stateroom size or the amenities on board, we've really checked all of those boxes. Something very special with this ship, we have 4 separate dining venues on board. Our main restaurant, which could accommodate everybody on board, but we don't need to, because during the dining hours, we also have our al fresco at the front of the ship where the windows drop down and you can get fresh air in while you dine. Obviously, weather permitting. Downstairs at the lower deck, where you don't typically find anything, we have our chef's table and Jimmy's Wine Bar. Now, Jimmy's Wine Bar is very special to us. It is just one of our restaurants. It is dedicated to the late Jimmy Murphy. He is the gentleman who partnered with Rudy Schreiner at the very beginning of our company. He had just sold his business, and he was the reason we were able to pay cash for our ships. His son, Gary Murphy, is now my boss, so they are still a big part of the AMAWaterways family. The Ama Magna has a full Zen wellness studio, state-of-the-art fitness equipment, a juice bar, a spa, and a salon, everything. Again, we've checked a lot of boxes, especially for the ocean cruisers who have never been on a river cruise before. And the last thing I'll mention, we even have a cinema on board. And if you like to travel, you can bring your kids on board with us. Kids 4 and older are allowed on board. I don't see a lot of them. I've been on quite a few cruises, but the last time I went was on the Ama Magna. We had an 8-year-old, and she discovered the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. I don't think her father went on very many excursions after that, but she had the time of her life, and she was a little star on board as well. Moving into my twin balcony stateroom vessels, this is an entry-level stateroom. Categories D and E, 160 square feet. You have nice large picture windows on top of the stateroom. You don't get the portholes. This is at the water level, so half of it is in the water. The windows never go underwater. You don't get the Jacques Cousteau experience of river cruising. You're gonna get the swan view. That's what I like to call them, our swan view. Here we have our category C. This is a French balcony stateroom. It is 170 square feet. We have sliding glass doors that open up nice and wide so you can get fresh air into your stateroom. And as I start to get into these newer slides, you'll see that I have different pictures, different decor from different vessels. I have done that very intentionally because I want you to see that we use very warm and inviting colors on our vessels. This is a twin balcony stateroom. So when I say twin balcony, people don't always know what I'm speaking of. So what it means is you have a French balcony and a full veranda in your same stateroom. So you can either sit inside of your stateroom, open up the French balcony area, get some fresh air, or you can sit outside on your own private veranda. Yes, Larry.
Probably most of you know what a French balcony is, but just in case there's a question, look on this picture well, go back to the last one.
Sure.
All right, look where the 2 orange chairs are. Those sliding glass doors will open up, and there's a railing right there. And of course, below the rail, it's all like plexiglass, so it's very safe. But the French balcony usually extends 6 or 7 inches out from the door. So you have the fresh air, you have the fresh view, as opposed to a full balcony, which if you go to the bed and go straight out, you can see behind the curtains that there's chairs. Now that is a balcony that you can stand on, you can sit on, and those are the difference. So some of the cabins will have both a French balcony by the orange chairs and the full balcony opposite the bed. And so that's the difference. This one has both balconies. Some will just have the French balcony. And with your Columbus Travel Advisor, you can pick out the cabin that works best for you, or the cabin that just has those 2 windows. You're getting natural light in there. as you say, they're not picture windows, but it does provide for a more economical cabin, a little bit smaller, but again, very, very spacious, and it works. I love these balconies, you know, it just opens up everything for you.
And you mentioned that on the lower deck, it's a little smaller. So you know, some of our competitors, their French balcony staterooms are only 130 square feet.
And what's your square footage on those window cabins?
160.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot more space. I'm a little claustrophobic, and I'm comfortable in them. The owners of our company, Rudy Schreiner and his wife, Christine Karst, they call the owner suite cabin 101. As soon as you walk off the steps downstairs, that is where they sleep, because they're not pretentious in any way, shape, or form. They don't want people to see them as these big, important people. When they cruise on their own ships, they go down to the bottom deck in the owner suite. One more thing I'll point out about these staterooms, categories AA and AB are 235 square feet. In the French balcony area, some of our vessels have a twin-size sofa bed. So something unique to AMAWaterways, we can accommodate triples. Now with our suites, they are 350 square feet. We can accommodate quads, but we're partnered with Adventures by Disney. They'll do full ship charters with us. They'll put families of four in here. We'll never put more than 3 people in a stateroom, because river cruising is an intimate experience. We want to keep it that way. Something else unique to AMAWaterways, we have connecting staterooms. So if you enjoy traveling with your friends and your family, you can have that door right in between your staterooms so that you can be a little closer and stay connected, especially if you're traveling with an extended family. Now, something that is really neat about AMAWaterways, we have the fastest Wi-Fi in the entire river cruise industry in Europe. I should elaborate on that. It's Europe. We're the only company that has a 4G network on all of our vessels. And we understand that most of our guests have smartphones and tablets. So the importance of fast internet access it's at the utmost these days. Larry, you've been able to use our internet on board. What was your experience while you were traveling with us?
Oh, you know, there was no problem whatsoever. I live off the internet because I'm still working. Yeah, it's a pretty good office to have on an AMAWaterways cruise ship, but we never had any connectivity problem. I'm sure there somewhere on the river there's a dead spot, but I've never hit it. And so, no, it was, the functionality was very, very good.
And the reason this is so important with all the smartphones and tablets, when you go on your excursions, we know you're taking pictures. When you get back on board, if you want to share with your friends and family on your social media, you have that reliable internet speed so that it's a simple process. Now, for our guests who still have flip phones, we have an entertainment on demand system on all of our vessels. It is an iMac computer in your stateroom, so you don't have to go and find a business center. If you're not familiar with a Mac, that's okay, because what we're looking at, this is your interface. You click on one button, you have access to TV shows. Another button, movies, newly released, as well as classic film selections. You click on another button, you have access to a very wide array of music. Now, when we're in port, we are actually connected to satellite television. Now, I will admit that most of what comes in is world news. So if you want to sit in your room and potentially ruin your vacation, at least you're doing that by yourself. You're not sharing that with everybody else. So we want to immerse our guests in the cultures of the places we're taking you to, but we want you to have that cultural immersion while you're on board with us. And one of the ways we're able to do that is with the entertainment we bring on board each evening. We'll bring local singers, dancers, and musicians from the areas that we're cruising through, again, so that you can have that cultural immersion. Now, here's an area in the industry where we are truly second to nobody. Our dining experience is absolutely spectacular. We are members of Le Chien de Retisser. They are the most prestigious culinary organization in the world. Membership is by invitation only. And again, this is an area where we are truly second to nobody. Larry, I know that you loved our food on board.
And it shows. Let me just tell you this. I've been on many river cruises with different companies. I haven't had a bad experience with any of them. And I'm just going to say this, of all the river cruise companies, I think there's 4 of them that if you go on any one of these 4, you're going to have a good experience. That would include, of course, AMAWaterways, Viking, Avalon, and Crystal. You're going to have a good experience, and I can sell any of those with absolute confidence that you are going to have a great experience. Having said that, and this is Trust Larry time, AMAWaterways is a absolute clear step above. I'll talk about the dining, but it's not just in the dining room, because I've had good meals on all of them. But there's something different. The variety of foods, and even sometimes you feel like something special within their capability, they'll do it for you. The shore excursions, the service. Kathy and I were on 2 AMAWaterways cruises last year, 2019, and both on the Rhine. And one was in July with a group. The other is one that, oh my goodness, you have to do someday. The Christmas markets, a 600 tradition where every town, village, city in Europe goes absolutely crazy with an outdoor Christmas market. I mean, crazy. And in where they'll have 10 or 12 different Christmas markets in the city, in the same city. And it's food, it's music, it's entertainment, it's everything Christmas. So I took a group last year on on the Rhine, through Castle Country and the Christmas markets. Now, it was the same ship. And then when we got on in December, keeping in mind we'd been on in July, most of the crew was the same. A few changes. We were greeted by name. They remembered us. Now, what I didn't figure out is, why did they remember me? Maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. Oh, his bad behavior. We can't forget him. Our we just sat down for dinner the first night, and our waiter from July, you're not assigned a table, it's open seating, but the servers have an area that they cover. And we latched on to this one waiter from Romania in July. He was unbelievable. And he he saw us at this other table and just came up and greeted us. So I found out which area he was serving, and the rest of the week we went to his area. Well, the first night that we're seated in his area with some friends at during the Christmas market, without being asked, he remembered that my wife Kathy loves a Diet Coke with a lime wedge. He remembered that after 6 months and just brought it to her and sat it down. And I was going, this guy it's too much. I will just say that all of these 4 cruise lines I've mentioned really are good. You're going to have a great experience with them, but AMA is not a close step up. It's a big step up. And I'll just tell you briefly about the dining. Things are freshly prepared. It's not like let's go to the overheated, tired buffet. They have some buffet type items.
Not anymore.
What's that?
Buffets are gone indefinitely.
Oh, that's right. During the pandemic, they would be. So I'm going back to what it was pre-pandemic. But they brought the buffet items out in very small batches. I mean, the pasta was still al dente. Now, the menu gives a very wide selection. They have both new items let's take dinner, every dinner and lunch. And then they have, you can always there, like a steak, a chicken, something like that. So I could go on and on. I will stop. The dining is as good as it gets. I've been on every riverboat company. It's tops.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Slide is that drinks are included with dinner. Is that the next slide, Brandon?
that's coming up. I'm getting ready to get, yes.
I won't steal your thunder.
No, that's all right. You know what? You've got a lot of thunder. You can just let it crash. So just to kind of circle back, so Larry, so you know, we are getting rid of the buffet permanently. We are not going to bring it back just because we are a luxury experience, and we have just decided that with everything that's happened, that was something on the table to begin with to pull away. So we're going to step away from it. But to just give you an idea of what a dining experience is like with us, breakfast, you will have very standard breakfast options. With your lunch and dinner, you're going to have cuisines from the areas that you're cruising through. So again, we're giving you that cultural immersion. We have 2 dining venues. What we just saw is our main restaurant. At the aft of the ship, we have a specialty restaurant. It's complimentary, no charge. This is our chef's table. You have a glass partition between your kitchen and dining area. You don't look at a menu here. Once everybody is seated, they'll bring out 3 small hors d'oeuvres. From there, we move on to sorbet with the soaking in champagne. Then we move on to 2 small entrees, finished with 3 small desserts, and we pair this with 3 different wines throughout the evening. So again, this is our chef's table, no charge, it's included. Yes, Larry, please do share.
I'm just gonna say, the best way to describe this is eclectic dining. It's nothing weird, you know. I promise you there'll be no Burmese monkey brain served, okay? Nothing weird. It's all recognizable, but it's prepared. You can see the chef there at a very high end. The service is impeccable. It's eclectic dining. By the way, I just got a question sent to me from David Anthony. I will save that question until the end.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we do serve complimentary, free-flowing soda, beer, and wine with your lunch and dinner. So again, for that cultural immersion, we bring the wines in from the areas that we're cruising through. So it's something different each day. Sometimes from lunch to dinner, it could be something different. In the mornings, we have either champagne if you're in France. Everywhere else, it's going to be a sparkling wine included. Juices complimentary with your breakfast. 24/7, we have complimentary bottled water. We have a complimentary coffee, specialty coffee drinks, and tea. The bottled water is replenished to your room as often as you would like. When you're going on an excursion, we're going to give you a bottle of water. When you're coming back from your excursions, we're going to give you a hot or cold drink, really depending on what the weather is like outside. And that brings me to something really neat. We just received in June a green award for all of our European vessels. And we're the only river cruise line to have this. And it's because we're moving away from single-use plastic, and we're doing everything we can to be greener in an industry that is growing, and also, you know, do more for our planet. So the bottled water in your room is now a glass bottle. And when you're going on an excursion, it's a box of water. I know that sounds strange, and this may sound stranger. I'm a water snob. I don't like certain waters. The boxed water is fantastic. We're also putting LED on all of our ships and doing all kinds of other things, again, to be more sustainable in this growing industry. We offer a complimentary cocktail hour before dinner every evening. This is a really amazing opportunity to get to know the rest of the guests on board. It brings everybody up into the lounge. It's also a great opportunity for your cruise manager to tell you what's in store for the next day. Yes, you will have a detailed itinerary before you leave, but these cruise managers have been on these rivers hundreds of times. Little bits of information they give you might alter whatever plan you had planned on doing the next day. Now, for our guests with dietary restrictions, and I actually had somebody email me a question about this earlier today, we can accommodate anything every single meal is prepared to order. So gluten-free, dairy-free, low sodium, food allergies. This gentleman specifically asked if we can do vegan, no fat, no sugar, no oil, no eggs. The answer is yes. Every single meal is prepared to order, so we can accommodate any sort of dietary restriction. Yes, Larry?
Now, if you have a dietary restriction, it's very important that you advise your Columbus travel consultant or advisor. Let them know in advance, well in advance, and we pass that on to AMAWaterways. Then when you get on board, let your waiter and the head waiter know of your dietary restrictions. But don't keep it to yourself and spring it on them at the last moment.
Yeah, it does help us if we have a manifest remark before we start selling. And they'll even greet you, and the maitre d' will always come to you to discuss your dietary restrictions, explain the menu, and then we're always looking for ways to go above and beyond. I'll just share a personal experience. The very first river cruise I went on, my wife has celiac, so she cannot eat gluten. So on our first cruise, they bring our table crab cakes, everybody but her, because crab cakes are breaded. So I get the pouty face, and the server, bon appetit, walks away. He saw the pouty face, but he didn't say anything to us. He came back about 5 minutes later with a fresh made crab cake that was not breaded. He went back to the chef and said, "This guy got the pouty face. We have to do something." And they brought her a fresh made crab cake just for her. So we're always looking for ways to go above and beyond. And when we can accommodate any dietary restriction, we're always looking for ways to make your experience unique and special. Because let's face it, people who travel are foodies. You know, having good food is part of the experience. Now, we also offer a detox water of the day. This is just water infused with fruits, minerals, and herbs. We keep it up on the corner of the bar. It's self-serve. And now, I'm actually a certified health coach. I will attest that this helps support your immune system. And the reason this is so important, you're traveling, you're jet lagged, you're running around, maybe being a little more active than normal, maybe having a couple of drinks that you don't normally have while you're at home. So little things can make big differences, and we're always very mindful of your health. Now, I do make one comparison between us and one of our competitors. To be professional, I'm not going to say their name, but it rhymes with schmiking. I'm sure you know exactly who I'm talking about. And the only reason I use them as a comparison is the number one question I am frequently asked is, what is the difference between AMAWaterways and them? And just some statistics for you. Our ships are the exact same size as a long ship. We put 156 guests on board. They're up to 196 guests. We have more amenities, but more importantly, your common area space. And this is just my opinion, because when you're not in your room or you're not on an excursion, you're in the lounge, you're socializing, you're getting to know the other guests on board. Larry, you've been on a lot of different ships. This makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does. It's more spacious. Again, the space to guest ratio, nobody comes close to AMAWaterways. Again, no denigration to any of these cruise lines. I mentioned there's 4. You'll have a great experience, but it's just much more spacious. Especially on the Ama Magna, which is in a class all by itself. The other thing is, you mentioned differences, is the variety and number of shore excursions. And I think you have something coming out, so I'll just wait until we get.
That's all right. I get excited and I want to get ahead too. Yes. So we've gone as far as to even start putting libraries on our ships back in 2010. We just are thinking about elbow room, places for you to spread out, maybe have a little bit of quiet space. Now, we used to keep board games in our libraries, but if you look at the back, that is the lounge on the other side. One night we had an opera singer performing in the lounge and a very heated game of Yahtzee in the library. Well, all the board games went away the next day. We've got chess, checkers, maybe some cards in there that you can play. Oh. So when I said more amenities, we literally have more amenities than anybody else in the industry. We have a salon, we have a spa, we have a state-of-the-art fitness center with incredible cardio equipment. There's even a cable resistance training system. So if you like to stay fit and active while you travel, you can keep up with the fitness regimen while you're traveling with us. We even have a pool on our sun deck. We started doing this in 2010. All of our newest vessels since then have a pool on the sun deck, heated so that they can be used year round. During our Christmas markets, as long as it's not raining or snowing, it's a good 104, 105 degrees in the pool. Again, something unique with AMAWaterways, we have a wellness program. So we have a health coach on every one of our ships. They do classes at 7 a.m. and 7:30. So it's going to be either yoga, core training, resistant band training, maybe some light stretching or Tai Chi. They all have basic programs they follow, but they also have their own little specialties that they bring as well. Now, what's funny for me, I've been on a few cruises with the wellness coach, and I always meet a couple of people who are like, I'm on vacation. I'm not going to get up at 7 o'clock to work out in the morning. Then these very same people hear the announcement, ladies and gentlemen, please join us tomorrow morning for champagne yoga at 7:30. These very same people show up for champagne yoga because it's champagne yoga. Why not? All right, so another area where we set ourselves apart on a very, very high level, it's our shore excursions. We have more included excursions than anybody else in the entire industry, more than 20 per 7-night selling. And Larry, I know you've been on several of our shore excursions.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, I've sailed, I think, 4 times with AMA. Can't wait to get back on board. There's such a wide variety, and they keep them small numbers. Well, for example, that Rhine, the Christmas market was a little different because they have all the regular tours, but they have Christmas market too. So let's go back to July of last year. We're on the Rhine, Amsterdam down to Basel, Switzerland, through the Netherlands, France, Germany, and Switzerland. Oh my gosh, castle country. Kill me now and just get it over with. But the largest group that we had was 20. Mm-hmm. Most of them were about 8 to 12 people. And that has a lot to do with which tours you take and how many people are on the ship. But I'd say most of our, that was 8 to 12 people, everyone with a professional guide. And you'll see the cruise director out there. But what's nice is you can be as active or as laid back as you want. Now, let me tell you one story. I don't know that this could always happen. I'm telling it just as a particular story. We're on the Danube, what, Brandon, like 2 years ago?
Yes, that's
from
correct.
Budapest to Vilshofen, Germany. My aunt and uncle, who are in their mid-80s and have mobility issues, my aunt, had a walker, and she's from Germany, and so they'd always wanted to go. So I was going, so they came. We stopped in Vienna, and there's a variety of tours, but on the gentle tour, there's very little walking, and my aunt got a little bit tired, even from the a couple of blocks. The cruise director was there, put her in a cab because the group was going to walk about 4 blocks to this cathedral. He put her in a cab, paid the cab himself, and sent her up to the church. Now, again, I don't know that could always be done. I'm giving an example of the level of service and concern. So you can have the the very easy. It's every possible. And you know, one thing that AMA does, and Dale Anderson is on this, and he'll remember when we were in Vienna, they have bicycle tours, both easy and it's flat, and a little for those who want a little more challenging. Dale and I went out. AMA lets you take bikes out on your own. I'm not aware of any other company, Brandon, correct me. I'm not aware of anybody else that does this.
No.
So Dale Anderson and I grabbed some bikes in Vienna and went out for a short ride, just on our own. It's such a unique. So, and then they have special interest tours. So you may have a choice of 4, 5, 6 tours or whatever. And then the special interest. I'll let Brandon talk about special interest. So I just got a note that some of the group thought this was going to be specific to Oberammergau. The first part is about the AMA experience, which we have many of you with us on Oberammergau. That's the first week. I will talk once we finish this on the cruise portion to talking about our Oberammergau experience.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. And so the way we're able to do so many tours in a 7-night cruise, let's talk about Vienna very briefly. So when you wake up in Vienna, you have a lot of choices. You can take your city tour, choose your level of activity, gentle walkers, regular pace, or active. Or you've been to Vienna before, you want to do something different. We have a complimentary cooking demonstration or complimentary wine tasting or art tour, or we even offer the back alleys of Vienna. These are all included because we have a lot of people who travel with us who've been to some of these places before, but would like a unique experience. And you can have that with us. And again, with those small groups. Now, outside of Europe, we do have some exotic destinations. This is the favorite thing I've ever done with AMAWaterways. I love it. Vietnam, Cambodia, and the riches of the Mekong. The full itinerary is 15 nights. And to briefly summarize for you, it's 2 nights at a hotel in Hanoi, 1 night on a luxury junk floating along Ha Long Bay. From there, we fly down to Siem Reap and spend 3 days exploring the temples. You have your 7-night cruise down into Ho Chi Minh City, and then 2 nights post in Ho Chi Minh City. You can break it up into segments if you don't want to do the full 15 nights. I will tell anybody who's going to do this, you cannot go to this part of the world and not spend some time in Siem Reap. It is one of the peak highlights of the entire trip. Yes?
Siem Reap is Angkor Wat.
Yeah, Angkor Wat is in Siem Reap, correct, yes. And we do go to Angkor Wat and Ta Prohm, Bante Shrey. We go to some very beautiful temples. Angkor Wat is the largest religious monument in the world. We do a sunrise excursion there. So you get there before the sun comes up and you can watch it coming up over behind Angkor Wat. It is breathtaking. And you're so jet lagged, it doesn't really matter. You can get up early and do it. All right. We also cruise the Chobe River in South Africa. We offer 5 different types of safari options that all include a cruise on the Zambezi Queen, only 14 staterooms, all suites. Now, these safaris range from anywhere from 9 nights to 19 nights. I would let you contact one of the travel advisors at Columbus Travel to find out which one is best for you. This is a very hot ticket for AMAWaterways. It is almost always sold out. We are almost completely full for next year. We are open for 22 as well. There is space available, but if you're interested, reach out to Columbus Travel and they will get you booked on the right date and itinerary for you. I am really excited about this one. We will start selling on the Nile River in September of next year. Now, this isn't just a 7-night cruise. When you book this, it is an 11-night itinerary. You can't go to this part of the world without spending some time in Cairo. So we do 3 nights at the Four Seasons in Cairo. It is the highest rated hotel based on TripAdvisor reviews in Cairo. Then you have your 7-night cruise out of Luxor, and then you spend 1 more evening in Cairo. There are 2 pre-options you can tack on. You can either spend 3 nights in Dubai or 4 nights in Jordan, where we'll go to Amman and Petra. And then the post is 4 nights in Jerusalem, where we'll take you down to Mount Masada and the Dead Sea as well. So when I talk about AMAWaterways and where we stand in this industry, I like to reference Berlitz guides. And the reason I like to use them, as far as I know, it is the only publication that you cannot pay for a better rating. And typically when you open up a publication and you see #1 river cruise line, either very clever marketing went into place or someone just simply paid to put it there. With Berlitz, they send secret shoppers out and they release a new edition every other year. Out of 3 editions, 10 of our ships are the highest rated each time. And the things that come in, the top 3 things, it's our food, service, and amenities. So it really shows you that consistency that Larry has been speaking about when he jumps in to tell us about what his experiences with us. We are very consistent, and dining is #1.
Well, I'm guessing you're as excited about AMAWaterways as I am. And the good news is that AMAWaterways is offering some of the best promotions that I've seen in years, including 2 free tickets to Europe from select cities on select cruises, or on other itineraries, a free companion fare. You know, a BOGO, buy one, get one free. Now, I said select cities and select cruises. What does select mean? Well, select means select. It means not every cruise, but certain identified cruises. You either get the 2 free airline tickets or a free companion tickets. On other cruises, how about up to $1,000 off per person? That's $2,000 a couple. There's other additional savings like repeat customers and other situations. Now, these discounts and promotions are not combinable with each other. In other words, you can't pile all of them up. What you need to do is look through the best promotion for you and then lock that one in. Now, all the prices, all the promotions are subject to terms and conditions, subject to availability and change at the time of booking. Now, for these promos, such as 2 free airline tickets, free companion fare, $2,000 off per couple, you need to book your AMAWaterways cruise with Columbus Travel no later than September 30th, 2020. Now, you know, promotions come and go. So if you're viewing this video after September 30th, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it, because all you've got to do is call Columbus Travel, 800-373-3328, or online at columbusvacations.com. And you can see that at the bottom of the screen right now. Just give the travel experts at Columbus a call, and they will update you on the current AMAWaterways discounts and promotions. I love river cruising in Europe. It's castles, it's big cities, small villages, 5-star gourmet dining, and nonstop fun. And I love that it's such an intimate experience. And sailing with AMAWaterways, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Now, the name AMAWaterways is kind of interesting, isn't it? It's AMAWaterways. I get the waterways, but what does AMA mean? AMA is short for amore, which means love. And you're going to love cruising with AMAWaterways as much as I do. So, for the best travel deals on the planet, including AMAWaterways promotions and giveaways, free tickets and discounts, give us a call at Columbus Travel, 800-373-3328, or online at columbusvacations.com. And one other insider secret. I put out a hot deal update. It's about 1 page. It'll come out once, maybe twice a week. Never litter up your inbox with late breaking travel news, things that we don't even have time to video on the Travel Channel. You can sign up free for the hot deal update at the Columbus Travel website, columbusvacations.com. Well, thank you for joining me today on the Getaway Guru. And if you haven't subscribed, please push the subscribe button, the notifications, and then give me a thumbs up. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, happy traveling.